Hey guys, Mitko here from DNModels, and today we are reviewing US Army Bulldozer from MiniArt kit number 35195. This is extremely highly detailed model from MiniArt and contains 726 parts, 716 of which are plastic, 8 are photo etch, and the rest are transparent clear parts. Wonderful box art from MiniArt as usual, and superb packing of everything. There are 3 decal options, and once we open the box you'll be amazed how many small and intricate parts are inside. The tracks are workable, the Dozer Blade is movable, and with such amount of details there are many options to be explored while building this thing. The engine is the highlight of the kit, but you'll see that once we start exploring the sprues. First we're gonna start with the instruction sheet. On the very first page there are description of the sprues and what you might expect to get once opening the box. The instruction sheet starts with building the engine first. It is extremely detailed and extremely realistic. Almost every single part that you can see on the real thing is here. Build of it is a bit challenging and not for newbies, but for intermediate to experienced smallers it shouldn't be a trouble. There is a margin for scratch built add-ons according to each one's taste. After 19 steps building the engine, the suspension is next. It is pretty much the same as on the other tractors from MiniArt that we reviewed before. It is also a complex one, although it's not so challenging as the engine. There are some minor decals to put while building everything. Everything in this kit is made from the new plastic material that MiniArt are using since late 2015 and on. It is far superior than the previous one that they were using and comes from Western Europe. There is no problems with cracking whatsoever now. Having such a complex build here, this is a major high point, because in order to complete everything in order, you need a friendly material to work with. The tracks are state-of-the-art, especially with the new material. There are in total 36 links. Each of those is made for 3 pieces, and once built, they're fully movable and workable. As you can see from the instruction sheet, everything is very highly detailed and full with small parts. It is not a surprise that the whole build takes 79 steps, each of which is filled with many sub-assemblies and small parts. MiniArt, however, made the fit wonderful, and that eases the job a lot. As I mentioned before, the Dozer Blade is movable. You can see that not many of the parts are glued, and it can be positionable. There are 3 decals options in total. The first one is from France 1944 with a couple of stars over the tractor, which was typical for the era. Second one was from the Royal Engineers Battalion on the 2nd Canadian Corps, Falaise, France, summer 1944. It is also with US markings in general, however we have a flag on the side to state that this is 2nd Canadian Corps. The third one, and the most interesting for me personally, is the 1304th Engineering Battalion of the US Army, and the tractor participated in the construction of Lido Road from India to China in 1944. The instruction sheet ends with the info page of MiniArt series of tractors, all 4 D7 bulldozers, in different options. The last one that I'm gonna review very soon, I hope, is the Army tractor with angled Dozer Blade, which can be seen in movie Fury with Brad Pitt. Also later this year, MiniArt promised to release again D7, this time with crew, and again featuring the new plastic, which is eliminate the hassle using their old kit with the old plastic, which had some troubles. The first sprue I'm going to show you is the engine with some small sub-assemblies, the seat, engine block, cooling fan, timing belt, and the front radiator. This here is available on all 4 kits, and it's extremely highly detailed. Every part by itself is state-of-the-art molding, but everything combined into one piece of an engine creates a stunning effect to the viewer. For this particular parts, there is no substitute even in resin. They are the best I've seen so far. On the next sprue we have some parts of the chassis, sub-assemblies of the skis. Again, this sprue is available in the other kits as well. The detail is superb. Too bad that this goes below the tractor and we'll not be able to see much of it once built. Even with that in mind, you must admire the delicacy here. Greatly executed. Next sprue I'm going to show you is the one with the Dozer Blade. Those are the parts that are supposed to be movable once built. And this sprue is not available on the standard D7 with winch. As you can see, it's clear, crisp, there is not much flash, and all the problems are easily solvable. The welding marks are there, everything is perfectly done. On the next sprue we have some of the handles, some sub-assemblies of the engine, small parts of the gearbox and the floor. Everything again with superb detail, although a bit challenging. The texture is amazing, and to be frank, MiniArt are one of the few companies that dealt with it in such a precise manner. All those parts that you can see here was a nightmare with the previous plastic material. Now this is not the case anymore. On the next sprue we have some of the lines connecting the engine with the drive compartment, some tubes, some rods, all in all delicate parts. As you can see, some of those were damaged upon arrival, which happens sometimes with MiniArt kits. I don't know why. They are packed very nicely overall. However, this is easily fixable, and it's good to know that in this case it's rather an accident than the defect of the material. Next are the sprues with the sprockets, the idlers, the springs that I mentioned before, which are extremely nice and flexible. Some small handles and some delicate parts are here also. The springs are even better than the metal ones. You gotta check them out yourself to believe that. Here we have a small sprue with the bottom part of the tractor, which unfortunately goes beneath it, and it's not visible after it's built. However, you can see and admire the quality of the molding. Of the next sprue we have 4, and it holds the small wheels, the lights, and some small and delicate parts. Unfortunately, these remain hidden once the kit is built. Next to sprues are those. We have 2 of that one. Small parts, although highly detailed, as you can see here. Welding marks, corrugation, rivets, everything is there. Typical MiniArt precision. Now, one of the most important sprues, according to my personal opinion, those are the tracks. This is one of total of 8 featured in the kit. And this is a perfect representation of the plastic track and elimination of the need of aftermarket tracks of any kind. Those are workable, although a hassle to be built. They take time and patience, but they are fully movable. And as you can see, the texture on them is superb. This is one of the best highlights of this particular kit in my personal opinion. Last, I'm gonna show you the decals, the photo etch, the clear parts, and one last small plastic sprue with some flash over it. We have 4 headlights, corrugated, nicely done. Clear enough to be headlights, with wonderful texture too. The photo etch sheet is small, and those parts remain invisible if you build everything together. However, it is there. The decal sheet is also small, considering that the tractors didn't have many markings over them. In my particular case, I used DNModels masks for D7 series because I find them to be more realistic. Pretty much that is all that we have in the box, very similar to the ones that we already reviewed. Again, this was kit number 35195 US Army Bulldozer from MiniArt. As you saw, it has tons of nice features, enormous amount of small parts, and it's an overall challenging build suitable for intermediate to experienced smaller. Very warm thanks to MiniArt for providing me with the sample for the review, and very soon I hope to make a review of the last one, the one with the angled Dozer Blade. I hope you'll find them useful. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you find the reviews interesting, and see you in the next one.